What is up, guys? Another guide today. I kind of actually don't really know what to call them, like what's broken in the game right now, I guess. But yeah, I didn't even have to stalk Koreans for this video. Kog is everywhere, wrecking solo queue, and he's only getting more and more popular. So what's the deal? Why has he gone from like 0 to hero in one patch? That is probably one of the cheesiest lines I've ever used. Nice, but basically it's three things in combination together. The direct buff to Kog, which was great, the further buff, and the items he uses being in such a strong spot right now. Actually, you know what? Just watch this. This is why I am making this video. So, balanced, right? 4-2 farmed Kog, just right clicks and away he goes. Well, since the rework, his W doubles his total attack speed, he gains the percentage health damage, and with his new buff, he now even has bonus attack speed on the thing anyway. We've all seen how fast he attacks, and that stacks up further to max stacks almost instantly. It's crazy how well they work together. The whole reason the new Kog was so strong really is because we're taking his autos, the fact that he attacks so fast, and just packing as much damage as we can into every single auto that hits. A lot of this is to do with his build, so let's jump into that first. Ginzu's is his main item. This is the core and what you want to rush every single game. It's not really a traditional AD carry item, I guess, but it works really well with your W. What we're really after is the passive, well, both passives actually. So the first one, you gain 8% attack speed, 3 AD and 4 AP up to 8 stacks. So 64% attack speed, 24 AD and 32 AP. That is awesome anyway, but it's the rage passive that we get at 8 stacks that we really want. Attacks are going to deal bonus AoE magic damage, and since we get 8 stacks really quickly with our W, we ramp up from 0 to full whack straight away. So Ruin's Hurricane, this is our second core item. It gives us a ton of attack speed on hit damage and the AoE with our attacks. While it doesn't make us stack Ginzu's faster, when we hit our rage passive, it does all of that bonus damage on every hit, which is insane. Now we've kind of gone from this single target destroyer with our percentage health damage to an AoE one, which I mean, we're ready for team fights and more is always better, right? Boost wise, Berserkers gives us even more attack speed, but swiftness is also really good. Basically, if you want to stay alive or if you want to move around a bit faster, swiftness is good, but if you want just pure damage, then Berserkers. Blade of the Ruined King is normally always our third item. Now we have our core, we're just trying to buff our basic attacks with as much on hit as possible. Blade gives us lifesteal, which is awesome because of how fast we attack, even more attack speed, but the most important part is the passive percentage health damage. It applies on every attack with our W, and it also applies with the Runin's AoE bolts too, so it's doing so much damage. Wit's End is another kind of uncommon item, I guess, on AD carries, but it works the same way as Blade of the Ruined King. We have 40 extra damage per hit, and yup, that works with our Runins and our insane attack speed. This last one, you can either kind of go for this or Wit's End really. You don't really want both, but the choice is up to you. Wit's End will add more damage on top of your autos, but Last Whisper will make your base auto damage hit harder. Now honestly, you don't really need pure defense because of how much damage you do, so there are three choices that I love to round out the build. Sterix is the first one. Not only do we get the shield and become a bit tankier, but also the base AD makes our autos hit harder, and since we're attacking so much, it actually does make a difference. Frozen Mallet is another uncommon item for AD carries, but we already have huge AoE damage, so why not add some AoE slow too and just kite everyone around. Mercurial Scimitar is like as defensive as we're really going to go. We get lifesteal, a speed up, cleanse our crowd control, and we're good to go. Keystone wise, Further Battle is just insane. We're 100% going to get this every game. It's crazy, but like, you know, the death recap actually, against a Kog'Maw is probably going to be auto attack first, like normal for an AD carry, but then second we'll have our W, and third is going to be the Fervor. That deals the third most damage when you kill someone. For runes, we're going standard stuff here. AD reds, armor yellows, magic resist, and attack speed blues, just a mix between the two, and attack speed quints. Skill order like Q is basically useless. I don't put any points into it until I have to. I max my W and then my E, putting a point into my ultimate whenever available. So let's go on to how to play Kog and lane phase first. This is definitely the weakest phase of the game for a Kog'Maw. The strengths I keep mentioning revolve a lot around items and stuff, right? Well, we don't really have any items yet. The main thing that I've been focusing on is just farming, honestly. I get my Ginzus and then I start to really fight more. Your W packs some good damage, I guess, but you aren't really able to keep up with most other meta AD carries in a full-on fight. I guess it kind of depends a lot on your support. If you have a Janna or a Soraka, you can just farm and wait for Ginzus when you do all the work. If you have someone like a Braum or a Thresh though who does a bit more, then you can follow up if they engage. That's actually something I want to point out too. Braum is broken with Kog'Maw. Your W procs the passive massive, so you proc it in about a second, and it makes fighting 2v2 a breeze. So yeah, if you play Kog, get your support to pick Braum, and you are so set for lane. Anyway, the lane changes a lot once you do get your Ginzus. Up to then, you kind of had weird items, and you don't do much, but once it's complete, you really do jump up in damage. You don't want to go too crazy, you're still a bit squishy, and you can't just stand there right click and kill everyone, but you'll outdamage most other AD carries with one item, and you can take some control back. So for teamfights, normally I actually think these parts are kind of the most useful part of a video, like how to actually play them, but Kog is just, I don't know, you just right click and kill things. I'm not kidding, once you have like 2 or 3 items, he attacks too fast to attack move properly unless you're like Korean, so it seriously becomes a case of I'm going to stand here and right click you, and let's see if you can kill me before I kill you. The main stuff that I can say is you have to avoid crowd control and stuff that will stop you attacking. If you aren't attacking, then you don't lifesteal, you don't do damage, and you will die. This actually kind of ties in too, but you're not very mobile, so you do have to be careful you don't get caught walking around mid-game. Those are the 2 biggest problems I've had with Kog. So how to beat him. I played against Kog quite a bit this week and before that, so here are things that I've noticed which lead to winning against him. Now I don't like saying this, I don't like champions like this, but the easiest way to stop him is early, so you have to be a bit proactive. Once he gets that Ginzus and Runins, you're going to struggle to stop him, but before those 2, he isn't that broken. Especially in lane, like Ginzu's build path is pickaxe and blasting one. Those 2 are kind of useless for Kog, well they're very useless for an AD carry. He's not going to do much with them until he completes it, so that's when you take advantage and go aggressive. If he ever uses that W to try and trade or farm from range, then that's when you want to go because he literally has no damage left. That is the only damage he has in his kit. Apart from those things, you really want to pick some crowd control or at least aim your CC at him in team fights. His strength comes from standing there and attacking, like all of his damage is on those basic attacks, so when he's stunned or not doing anything, he does no damage. Burst is also really good actually because he wants to do a bunch of sustained damage over a period of time, and simply if you kill him quickly or at least chunk him too low, then he's not going to be able to do anything. The final thing is this tower pushing trick that I showed you guys yesterday. I'll link it down below or at the end if you haven't seen it, but I use this against him a lot. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb when you play against him really. If you wait too long, he is going to do so much damage and be hard to stop, so if you push him in early, then he won't really be able to stop you. Just make sure that you take every advantage you can really. If you gank him or you gank another lane and force someone out of lane, then push the tower and at least you're getting some more gold and snowballing the game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this Kog'Maw guide. If you did, remember to leave a like, it really helps me out. Subscribe, comment, share, but for now I'm going to leave you with the robots.